Do you believe that vengeful spirits can return to seek revenge? Or is it all just a coincidence? Since ancient times, people have passed down stories of wrongful deaths, restless souls unable to move on, carrying their resentment and returning to haunt those who wronged them. But is this real, or merely an invisible fear passed from generation to generation? What is the truth behind these tales? Do all unjustly deceased individuals come back for revenge, or are these fears merely exaggerated by human imagination? We will analyze real-life stories and explore this phenomenon from different perspectives. Have you ever heard of or experienced a story about vengeful spirits? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you won't miss our upcoming fascinating videos. Now, let's embark on this journey to uncover the mysteries of the spiritual world. In Vietnamese folklore, vengeful spirits seeking retribution are among the most frequently mentioned supernatural phenomena. We have often heard stories of wrongful deaths returning in dreams to deliver messages, of evildoers suddenly encountering mysterious misfortunes, or of places rumored to be heavy with negative energy due to past unjust events. Some believe that these spirits, unable to move on, return with lingering resentment, seeking justice. However, others argue that such occurrences are merely coincidences, a product of human imagination when faced with the inexplicable. Let us delve into real-life accounts, eerie legends that have haunted generations. These are not just folk tales passed down through the ages, but also unsettling events that accompany them, making people shudder and wonder. Is it reality or just a chilling coincidence? 1. The vengeful spirit in white. A tragic miscarriage of justice. In Hue, the ancient imperial city with moss-covered palaces, solemn tombs, and an air of melancholy, is also home to countless mysterious stories. Among them is a legend that has instilled fear in many locals: the vengeful spirit in white. The story dates back many years to a time when a beautiful young woman from a prestigious family was falsely accused of adultery. That fateful day, driven by anger and the disgrace brought upon their name, her family did not bother to investigate or clear her name. Instead, they immediately sentenced her to death, carrying out the cruel execution without mercy. It is said that on that ill-fated night, her anguished cries echoed throughout the village, but no one dared to intervene. Following her unjust death, the peaceful atmosphere of the region was forever altered. Locals began recounting eerie occurrences. Each night, faint sobbing could be heard carried by the wind. Some even claimed to have seen a spectral figure of a woman in white, standing silently by the riverbank, her eyes filled with sorrow. Stranger still, those who had played a role in her demise all suffered inexplicable misfortunes. Some lost their entire fortunes, others died suddenly under mysterious circumstances, and some were driven to madness for no apparent reason. People believed that this was the woman's restless spirit, returning to seek vengeance and demand justice. It was only after a nearby temple held a grand prayer ceremony for the departed that the strange occurrences gradually subsided. Yet, the question remains, has her spirit truly found peace? Or is it merely lying dormant, waiting for the right moment to reappear? 2. The vengeful spirit of Nguyen Thi Lo. The curse of Le Chi Vien. While the story of the woman in white in Hue remains a folklore legend, the mass execution of Nguyen Tri's family is a documented event in Vietnamese history. However, what continues to haunt people is not just the historical injustice, but the legend surrounding the vengeful spirit of Nguyen Thi Lo, the brilliant yet ill-fated wife who became one of the most tragic figures in the infamous Le Chi Vienne case. In 1442, King Le Tai Tung died suddenly at Qilin Estate after spending the night at Nguyen Trai's residence. The court swiftly accused Nguyen Trai of treason, sentencing not only him but his entire family to death. 3 generations were wiped out without exception. Among them, Nguyen Thi Lo, his wrongfully accused wife, was also executed in utter injustice and despair. It is said that after this massacre, Le Chi Vienne was never the same. Many eerie tales emerged. On moonlit nights, sorrowful cries could be heard drifting through the bamboo forest, wails of anguish as if carried from the underworld. There is a chilling rumor that those who speak of Nguyen Thi Lo's tragic fate with disrespect often suffer misfortunes. Some lose their jobs suddenly, others fall ill with unexplained ailments, and in some cases, people have met untimely and mysterious deaths. Many believe that the curse of Nguyen Thi Lo remains unresolved, lingering over the land. Over the years, monks have traveled to the site to conduct prayers in hopes of pacifying the restless spirits. But as for whether the curse has truly been lifted, only time will tell. 3. The vengeful ghost of the fishing village. While the previous stories took place on land, the legend of the vengeful ghost of the fishing village has long haunted the coastal communities. According to the tale, years ago, in a small fishing village along Vietnam's central coast, a woman was accused of being a witch. The villagers believed she had used dark magic to drive fish away from their nets, bringing misfortune to the community. In their blind rage, they dragged her to the beach under the full moon and drowned her in the sea, without any real evidence of her supposed crimes. From that day on, the village knew no peace. Not only did the fish never return, but countless dead fish began washing ashore. Fishermen who ventured out to sea faced misfortunes. Some vanished without a trace, while others returned pale and terrified, as if they had witnessed something unspeakable in the ocean's depths. The most chilling accounts came from those who swore that, on nights of the full moon, they could see the shadowy figure of a woman standing on the shore, her empty gaze searching for something lost forever. The elders of the village believe that this is the tormented spirit of the wrongfully accused woman, returning to seek justice for her cruel fate. In an attempt to appease her soul, the villagers built a small shrine by the beach, keeping incense burning day and night in prayer. Yet despite the passage of time, her story persists, serving as a chilling reminder of human cruelty and the ghosts of the past that refuse to be forgotten. These stories are just a few among countless legends of vengeful spirits that have been passed down through generations. Whether one chooses to believe in them or not, one thing is certain: these tales continue to linger, haunting the minds of those who hear them like an unsolved mystery that refuses to fade away. You might be wondering, is this merely a collection of legends woven by human imagination, or do invisible forces truly haunt our lives? To answer this question, let us examine this phenomenon from a spiritual perspective and through the lens of folk beliefs. Tales of vengeful spirits seeking retribution are not exclusive to Vietnamese folklore, but are prevalent in many cultures worldwide. For centuries, people have passed down stories of wandering souls, spirits unable to transcend due to deep-seated grudges, lingering on the boundary between two worlds, searching for justice or seeking revenge on those who wronged them. From east to west, spanning religious doctrines to folk beliefs, one conviction remains consistent: the dead do not simply vanish, but continue to exist in another dimension, waiting for their grievances to be resolved. 1. Beliefs about vengeful spirits. In Eastern and Western cultures, no voice. In Buddhist beliefs, death is not the end but a transition from one life to another. However, some spirits, burdened by lingering resentment, are unable to reincarnate and become hungry ghosts, wandering, tormented souls trapped in the human realm. These spirits cannot leave on their own and must rely on rituals for deliverance, such as prayers and merit dedications from the living to attain liberation. It is widely believed that wrongful deaths, murders, suicides, or deaths filled with sorrow and injustice leave a powerful imprint in the spiritual realm, preventing the soul from accepting its fate. Such spirits may appear in the dreams of their loved ones, deliver strange omens, or even cause supernatural occurrences, haunting whispers in the night, eerie footsteps on empty floors, or fleeting white shadows in the corners of rooms. This is why, in Eastern cultures, families conduct 49 days of memorial rites after a person's passing, hoping to guide the departed soul and prevent it from lingering in the mortal realm. If these rites are neglected, resentment may accumulate, transforming the restless spirit into a vengeful ghost that brings misfortune upon the living. Taoist view. On vengeful spirits. Taoism draws a clear distinction between benevolent ancestral spirits and vengeful ghosts. Those who die with unresolved earthly grievances and are not properly honored through ancestral rites may become malevolent spirits carrying an intense aura of resentment. In many Vietnamese villages, small roadside shrines are built to honor those who suffered wrongful deaths. Locals believe that if these spirits are left unattended, they may grow restless and vengeful, influencing human lives in unpredictable ways. There are countless stories of people who desecrated these shrines only to suffer severe misfortunes, unexplained accidents, financial ruin, or even untimely deaths. Are these mere coincidences? Or is there an unseen force seeking justice for these forsaken souls? Taoist tradition holds that to appease vengeful spirits, one must conduct rituals of atonement, offering joss paper, burning spirit money, and inviting shamans to perform exorcisms. Without these rites, such spirits may remain forever trapped, becoming wandering ghosts that roam endlessly, causing disturbances in the human world. The notion of vengeful ghosts is not unique to the East. In Western folklore, one of the most famous ghostly legends is that of the Lady in White. Much like the vengeful spirits of Eastern traditions, the Lady in White is often the soul of a woman who died unjustly, her pain and sorrow etched deep into her essence. These spectral figures are said to haunt ancient castles, desolate roads, or riverbanks, appearing as faint apparitions with sorrowful eyes and haunting cries. Many believe that encountering a lady in white is a bad omen, forewarning impending misfortune. Some stories recount drivers spotting a woman in white by the roadside, only for her to vanish when they turn back for another look. Science may offer explanations, hallucinations, optical illusions in the dark, but there remain countless cases that leave even the most skeptical minds unsettled. Do vengeful spirits truly exist? 2. Traditional methods of appeasing vengeful spirits. No voice. Regardless of whether one believes in vengeful spirits, ancient traditions have always sought ways to pacify lingering souls. In folk beliefs, the worlds of the living and the dead are not entirely separate, but remain connected by an invisible thread. Conducting prayers to release spirits from hatred. One of the most common ways to help spirits find peace is through prayer rituals that guide them toward the afterlife. freeing them from the cycle of resentment. It is believed that when a lost soul is prayed for and given a proper send-off, it gains the opportunity to reincarnate, letting go of its pain to start a new life. This is why, when someone passes away, families invite monks to chant sutras, burn incense, and perform forgiveness rituals. In particular, during the 7th lunar month, the ghost month, when the gates of the afterlife open, people hold ulambana, vulan ceremonies to pray for wandering souls, offering them a path to redemption, accumulating virtue and performing good deeds. Beyond rituals, many believe that the best way to avoid being haunted by vengeful spirits is to lead a virtuous life, doing good, avoiding wrongdoing, and not causing unjust suffering to others. As the saying goes, what goes around comes around. Those who cause wrongful deaths or injustices may find themselves haunted by the spirits of their victims, seeking retribution. However, if they sincerely repent and dedicate themselves to good deeds, these spirits may eventually find peace and let go of their grudges. Ancient wisdom teaches, live with a clear conscience and fear no ghosts. Perhaps this is the most important lesson of all, to live honorably, ensuring that no vengeful spirit ever comes knocking at one's door. From a scientific and psychological perspective, fields that have conducted extensive research to decode supernatural phenomena often deemed ghostly. How is the phenomenon of vengeful spirits seeking retribution understood, aside from its spiritual aspect? The psychological fear effect. Can the brain deceive itself? No voice. One of the most common scientific explanations for the phenomenon of vengeful spirits is the psychological fear effect. According to research by Dr. Christopher French, a psychologist specializing in paranormal phenomena at the University of London, the human brain has a tendency to seek familiar patterns in uncertainty. When a horror story is circulated for a long time, people can easily connect random events into a meaningful sequence, thereby forming fear and the sensation that something supernatural is happening. For example, if a house is rumored to be haunted and someone enters and hears an unusual noise, their brain will immediately associate that sound with the presence of an invisible entity, rather than considering a logical cause such as a draft or rodents scurrying in the attic. This also explains why people who already believe in vengeful spirits are more likely to sense the presence of ghosts, while skeptics rarely experience such phenomena. Furthermore, psychology has shown that fear is highly contagious. When a story about vengeful spirits is retold multiple times, an individual's fear can influence an entire community, leading many to believe they have also experienced supernatural occurrences, though in reality, these experiences may be purely products of the imagination. 2. Hallucinations, sleep paralysis, and the effects of infrasound waves. Besides psychological factors, science has identified several physiological phenomena that could explain feelings of haunting or encounters with vengeful spirits. One of the most common is sleep paralysis, a phenomenon that occurs when a person is in a semi-conscious state between sleep and wakefulness. According to research by Dr. Baland Jalal, a neuroscientist at Harvard University, sleep paralysis can create an extremely realistic sensation of an invisible entity pressing down on a person's body. Some individuals even report seeing demons standing beside their beds. This phenomenon may help explain some of the stories about spirits appearing at night, particularly during times of psychological stress or anxiety. Additionally, another factor that scientists have studied in relation to ghost sightings is infrasound waves. Sound frequencies below 20 Hz that are inaudible to the human ear, but can affect the brain, inducing feelings of unease, dizziness, and even hallucinations. According to research by British scientist Vic Tandy, prolonged exposure to infrasound waves can cause individuals to feel as if someone is watching them, experience sudden chills, or even see shadowy figures. Interestingly, many supposedly haunted locations, such as abandoned houses and cemeteries, have been found to have unusually high levels of infrasound, making people more susceptible to its effects and leading them to believe they have genuinely encountered a vengeful spirit. 3. Cases that science cannot fully explain. Despite the many scientific explanations for vengeful spirits, there are still cases that even scientists struggle to comprehend. One such phenomenon is the accurate premonition of death or disasters in dreams. Numerous documented cases worldwide suggest that deceased loved ones have appeared in dreams to forewarn the living about an impending event, something that remains unexplained. For instance, in a study by Dr. Ian Stevenson, a researcher at the University of Virginia specializing in near-death experiences, hundreds of cases were recorded in which individuals reported encountering the spirit of a deceased relative in a dream, warning them of an impending tragedy, such as an accident or death. These events later unfolded exactly as foretold. This is an area where science has yet to provide clear answers, as such occurrences seem too coincidental to be dismissed outright. Moreover, there are cases of individuals suddenly recalling vivid memories of past lives or experiencing an intense feeling of familiarity with a place they have never visited before. While science has yet to confirm the existence of vengeful spirits definitively, these strikingly coincidental events remain a mystery that has yet to be fully explained. Stories of vengeful spirits seeking retribution have been passed down from generation to generation, serving as a reminder of karma, the battle between good and evil, and the mysteries that forever linger around us. Whether one believes in them or not, the fear of vengeful spirits is deeply embedded in human subconsciousness. From a spiritual perspective, spirits that have not found peace and carry resentment may influence the physical world. However, from a scientific standpoint, many of these occurrences can be explained through psychology, hallucinations, or environmental factors that affect human perception. So, what is the truth? Science may explain certain phenomena, yet there remain mysteries beyond our understanding. Some claim to have sensed the presence of spirits, seeing things invisible to others. There are also eerie coincidences, premonitions of death in dreams, or curses that seem to haunt generations. Regardless of whether vengeful spirits truly exist, one thing is certain: we reap what we sow. A life lived with kindness and compassion has nothing to fear from spirits. As the old saying goes, a straight tree fears no strong winds. A good person fears no ghosts. Those who live righteously, causing no harm, need not fear the unseen forces. In contrast, those who commit evil, deceiving, harming others, will be tormented by their own conscience, haunted by fear, whether or not spirits exist. Thus, the most terrifying thing in this world is not vengeful spirits, but our own misdeeds. If one day you feel uneasy, as if something unseen is watching you, ask yourself, have I done something wrong? Instead of fearing ghosts, cultivate virtue, perform good deeds, and help others for a peaceful life. When you live righteously, darkness cannot reach you. If spirits truly exist, then the light of kindness is the only force that can guide them to peace, rather than letting them spread fear among the living. After all, do you believe in vengeful spirits? Or are they merely creations of the human mind? Have you ever experienced something inexplicable by science? Share your story in the comments so we can explore and decipher this mysterious world together. If you found this video intriguing, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you won't miss our upcoming supernatural tales. We will continue to bring you thrilling content, sparking curiosity, and unveiling new perspectives on the unseen world. Follow our channel and join us on this journey to uncover the secrets of the spiritual realm.